What you think about down there, Mo? You kind of quiet, bro.
Oh, cause I had something for the nigga bitches part, and then we got into the music part, and then I had something about the Tupac part, and I'm like, I don't want to throw off the conversation.
Shit, that's what we do right here, dog. Somebody gonna throw it off.
I know you noticed that already.
Take us where you want to take us, bro. We here.
That's a fact, man. I don't know, man. I've been trying to think about different shit. Like my wife was like, I'm extreme with certain conversation topics. Like too much. Sorry, there's a military base not far from here, so you get helicopters sometimes. What you call it? But yeah, like it's kind of like when I was talking to y'all the last time, I was like, my wife be annoyed with my ass sometimes, because it's like I can't, it's hard for me to
turn off.
I can't turn it off. I can't turn it off. You feel me? Because like I look at it like the way I put it to her last night is like, because I feel like I'm watching us die, and I'm supposed to go about my day and just kind of focus on my family. But I feel like I was like, if your parent was dying like in front of you, you'd have a pretty extreme response about it. You'd be tripping. You'd be going crazy. You'd be trying to do whatever you can do. You'd be trying to call doctors every day. You'd be trying to get an update. Oh, is she okay? Is he okay? Are they gonna make it? What's going on? You'd be like, all right, mom, we gotta change your diet. We gotta put you on some medication. We gotta do, you'd be on it all the time. You'd be thinking about it. And I don't know. I feel like I gotta look at it like it's some black hospice type shit, where it's like you put them there because they about to pass, but you just want them to be as comfortable as possible, where you kind of have this acceptance. So like I'm trying to like reframe some shit and just I don't know how to do it, because like I look at it as the outside world affects my household because it affects my children, it affects my family, whether it's a cultural thing, whether it's what the conversation is, whether it trickles down into relationships, friendships, all of that stuff, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's a difficult one. I've been talking about it a lot, culture and race and all of this stuff, because I'm thinking about my children and how to have certain conversations with them, or try to raise them a certain way with some kind of intention, like remembering the Great Debaters. I think Denzel's character was like, I'm trying to like preserve your black mind, or save your, I think he said preserve or save, but it's like, and you gotta have a certain mentality, or else you're just gonna fall for the BS when you go out there, You're gonna be one of them goofy ass dudes in some YouTube video that got some white girl that put them on a leash when they get married, or you're gonna be some girl that lets the white boy ask them to prom with the damn cotton on the banner, because. But anyway, so I've been trying actually to not think about certain things. You dig? You know what? To switch from the whole fucking where the whole planet where we're about to die, we all about to die conversation that I be having every week. What do you guys teach any kind of like gendered roles or anything like that to your children?
Yes. I mean, I don't really teach like this is the way it's got to be, but I mean, it's things that I feel that women should do. Not saying men don't do or won't do. But, I'm saying? It's household shit. Women are nurturers. I'm saying that's the nature of the joint. Nature of the female to be the mother, It's you know what I'm saying, the provider and shit. I mean, you know, the household provider, whereas, you know, the hunter gatherer is the man. You know what I'm saying? The woman is the housemaker.
I wouldn't say I necessarily teach gender roles. I don't know. I guess that was my.
I mean, gender roles are forced. Like you said, man. Look at boys' toys versus girl toys. Gender roles are always going to be there. You know what I'm saying? Little girls get kicked, boys get guns. Like it's
weird because honestly, if you might have asked me that question maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I probably would have had a different answer. I can't say that because like the word gender role is actually like a thing now. You know what I mean? Like I understand the whole hunter and gatherer aspect of the way this stuff works, but and I know a lot with the way that my life has worked. The way it started, I looked like I was the gatherer and she was the hunter. So I seen a lot of stuff different and seeing like, okay, a household works where there is a hunter and there is a gatherer. There's no she's the, you know what I mean? There's no she's the gatherer, he's the hunter, that type of shit. You know what I mean? So I have noticed that, but when it comes to far as but at the same time, when it's, I don't know, because combos is just so weird when the word gender is thrown up, because now it's like it's questions behind what gender is. When we were raised where like is you a man or a woman? You know what I mean? So now when that gets blurred, a lot of other things get blurred. So now the convo turns into something when it was just a question of whether you talk to your kids about gender roles or whatever. It then turns into like a 5 or 7 minute convo when it was just a simple question. That makes sense. You know what I mean? That's my, again, I guess I'm in 4 cents now.
Do you think it's like I hear both of you guys, it's like, Maul, you were kind of talking about almost in the realm of like that partnership thing, where it's just roles, and then like Deuce, you're kind of saying like there are some. I think unless you're in like online, this is where I see like the queer community kind of like make fun of like heterosexual couples, because they're like, you guys got all of these rules and roles and stuff, and that shit got to be exhausting, right? But I will say for me, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and I don't want to say uphold, but I do believe in certain gendered kind of roles, you know? And I feel like some of this stuff is like socially constructed, but I think a lot of it is still like a biological imperative, like a biological thing that drives the majority of people, you know? Like I think the majority of people are kind of either or. Then you have gender and sexuality that's on the spectrum, but for the most part, like 80% of people fall into a certain line. You know,
real quick. So you heard, So you heard what who was it? Macy Gray.
Yeah. What about it?
The comment that she made, and then the that comedian who's I don't know if she's transition. I think she's transitional. Yeah, she's transgender. She's a woman now. And put trans in front of her, I guess. I don't know. So did you hear both of their comments or whatever? I think it was either, and I think it might have been in response to what Bette Midler said. Did you hear any of that stuff? I don't have any other resources, so if not, we're just gonna move on.
I saw a headline, I guess, about Macy Gray saying something about, but what did she say?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't remember the exact words, but it's funny because it's like when I hear statements that become an uproar, it's like that was just a regular statement. And then y'all turn it into some, y'all picked 2 or 3 words, and then y'all made it into something. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think it had something to do with it had something to do, of course, with roles. I think it had something to do with roles. I don't remember the exact words. I wish I did, but it had something to do with roles or whatever.
With roles?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. As far as that whole conversation, my response is kind of simple. I think, oh shit, I don't even know if I should say this, but my whole thing is just kind of simple. I think a biological woman is a woman, and I think a trans woman is a trans woman. I feel like we have words and titles and designations for a reason. You know, I feel like it becomes this big ass argument, but it doesn't really make sense because it's like I feel like the super progressive, intellectual, super progressive people, right? On one hand, we create a whole bunch of new words to try to accurately describe stuff, you know? This is a cis heterosexual man, or this is a
That's
whether
cis
it's
shit.
talking about
That's cis shit.
yeah.
That shit's weird. Like you just threw cis in front of regular. Like that makes no sense. Like I'm a cis man. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like that doesn't make sense.
But look, it's like, but look, this super progressive intellectual, whatever it is, they come up with new words and new designations. We're going to use Latinx because it's a gender neutral thing, or we're going to start spelling woman with a Y or whatever the fuck they do, right? You know, all of this goofy shit, right? But what they're trying to do, even when you talk about gendered stuff, or if you're talking about social justice stuff or racial things, right? We got misogynoir, and you have microaggressions, and you have, you know, all these different words to describe sexual encounters, different kinds of genders, different kind of fetishes, different things as far as race. Like, so we create these words because designations, they mean something. They give a definition, they describe something, they tell a story, right? But then for some reason you go, well, you got to say a trans woman is a woman like everybody else, but by their own logic, that doesn't even make sense because the two stories are completely different, you know? And I feel like if you go, yeah, a trans woman is a trans woman, that means when you have that designation, and not just, oh, they're just a woman, right? That tells a different story because they're completely different things, you know? It's like, would you not say a man and a woman and just say person, right? Because we're two different, yeah, we're both people, right? We're both under the category of human being, right? But a man has a different story, a different biology, a different experience, and a woman has a different story, biology, and experience. But then it's like when we want to be convenient and talk about certain groups, then we want to lump everything together now. Like that shit doesn't even make sense, you know? It doesn't even follow their own logic. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for supporting the Nine-Time Bowel movement. Where along with the convo, we try to give y'all segments like support your own, support is important, and flag football won't enough though, because support is important, and we gotta support our own. Deuce also brings you with your goof ass, a segment you better not end up on, along with the necessary and unnecessary conversations we have, are intended to support the homies and those we see grinding, making things happen, big or small. If you know someone who needs some shine, DM Mo or Deuce so we can show love and send followers, subscribers, customers, or whatever. Now, time about.
Like I remember letting some stuff slide on some songs that we did because at the time I didn't trip, you know. Then literally like the next year, I kind of cared more, you know. I got more kind of like aware. I was becoming a bit more mature about certain things, but I don't know. This shit is just, it's kind of goofy to me, my dude, you know, like, because I mean, like K Dot had that time on a stage where the white girl said it and he paused the show and was like, you can't say that, you know. I mean, like the dude, huh? Hold on. I can't hear you. It got muted.
No, my bad. I was muted and shit. I say Andy brought up that situation in this latest album or whatever. So that's part of the combo too, though. You know what I mean? Like,
for me, I'll because I'm rambling. My fault. For me, my personal thing is I don't use the word. My belief is like
you don't use
when you
nigga?
have a, huh?
You don't use nigga? I didn't even notice though. Okay.
If I use nigga, it's in a negative way. Because at that point, it's not ambiguous. There's no there's no, well, he really means no. If I'm like, these niggas got, like, it's a negative.
This nigga.
Yeah, it's a negative. You feel me? I don't.
What little brother say? Watch them new niggas over there.
It usually is a negative. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but just for me, I look at it like, when you got something with all of this ambiguity to it, you leave room for a bunch of misuse or misunderstanding. And when you have all of these like rules and weird shit sometimes in the public eye, it's hard to take shit seriously. You know, like, I get the whole thing as far as if we use it a certain way, I don't like it. But I get the whole, all right, if Black people do it, then that's what we've done, you know? But it's just weird because some people are cool with it. Some people are like, if the white person, the Asian person grew up in the hood, then they can use it. Because honestly, I kind of look at it like, when people try to police folks on it, we only really police people that we could punk, you know? Because I don't think we would go to the Samoan Bloods or the Asian Crips out of Long Beach or nobody like that and be like, you can't say the N-word because you ain't Black, you know? We'll go to like a college campus or the UK with a bunch of like preppy white people and be like, y'all can't say that. But you ain't really gonna, we really not gonna run up on some folks that can really give us that smoke back. You feel me?
Well, I don't agree with that off the strength that those people aren't our oppressors. I mean, you know,
okay.
Generally, you know what I mean? But I had an uncle. My uncle was 6'4", 330, right? And he used to tell me all the time, nephew, a word only has as much power as you give it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, don't let nobody disrespect you. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I've always been the guy that, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna let it bother me, but don't be upset when I punch you in your face. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I mean, you know, like I mean, you know, you hear it, you gonna hear it. And if you were to fight everybody that use that word, you know what I'm saying? You'd be fighting for the rest of your life. And that another phrase coming from my uncle who was 6'4", 330. Like, yo, he used to tell me, like, yo, I fought my entire life behind that word. You know what I'm saying? He ain't like his usual, but he fought his entire life behind that word. But he don't give a fuck because he can beat anybody that, you know what I mean? But if he was to fight everybody behind somebody using the word nigga, he'd probably be dead, you know what I mean? Before he died, you know what I mean? So
another distraction.
Yeah. If you give a motherfucker the ability to have power over you by just saying that word, you've already lost.
Well, shit, while we're already in this ballpark, because in my notes I had a shit under niggas and bitches. Why do we still use that word? How do y'all feel about that word?
I will say
bitches is bitches and hoes is hoes, and it don't mean a woman is either of those.
We got bars?
Yo.
I mean, you know, this shit just come. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's
Bishop Don Juan Seuss out this bitch.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, it just comes, right? That shit just. But I mean, that's how I be feeling. Like it's all. You know, you got women, you got trans women, you got bitches, you got hoes, you got women. You know what I'm saying? One ain't gotta be. They not synonymous. So, you know. And we all know what a bitch actually is. Everybody loves dogs.
Mm-hmm. So, but it's only when the bitch is in heat, though, right? Or ain't it only when the female dog is in heat? Like she only a bitch then, or just the female dog in general?
Yeah, bitches do
in general.
Okay.
When they doing a whole lot of barking and they ain't heat and they leaving stains and shit everywhere.
You look at that bitch over there?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Bitches do what bitches do, hoes do what hoes do. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. We talking about I guess what's the word?
What about this one? T-Pain said Tupac will get lyrically killed in this generation.
It go to the whole situation of when we were talking about basketball and you tell me how greats would have adapted in any fucking era. You see what I'm saying? Like, Pac was ahead of his time in the era he was in. So why the fuck would he not be ahead of a time in whatever era that he put him in? Like, I don't.
I thought T-Pain was smarter than that, but pop music's still relevant to this day.
On top of that, like on top of that, bro. Like,
how could you even say some shit like that out your mouth?
Yeah, I agree with the whole. I thought T-Pain was smarter than that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Only thing I know is that I'm like that. Mic check 1, 2, I know you like that. Nice lab, nice track in the lab rat. Nice hook, punchline, you better jab back, bitch. Only thing I know is that I'm open to the scriptures. I open up your soul, I'm choking out your spirit. I roll them out alone, hoping he don't hemorrhage. We do not condone, so condolences to niggas. It's the MICCHECK, motherfucker.
Real quick with the nigga bitches part,
Uh-huh.
I always feel a certain way. Like, I feel like, one, they're a real thing and they exist. And two, the whole reclaiming something, like, I'm going to reclaim slut and reclaim bitch and reclaim all of this negative stuff. That doesn't exist, like, psychologically. Like, if we go into, like, psychology, when you adopt an identity that was thrown on you, that's a negative one, but you tried to make it a good thing or you accepted it, that's a negative thing psychologically, you know? I don't think there's ever a point where you really go, this is empowering, you know? And throughout all cultures, if a group of people has a negative term for them, they keep it negative, you know? They keep it negative. There's no ambiguity about it. You know what I'm saying?
That's
and
powerful.
when there's no,
That's powerful. Like, that's a bar. Like, I mean, I've heard that before. Like, we take claim the fact that we took such a negative turn and made it positive. But like you're saying, nobody else has done that, and that don't mean that we're miraculous for doing it. That means that we're that doesn't mean anything. Like, that means that we shouldn't have done that. Basically, like, that don't make any sense.
You don't look. I tried to figure out a way, a dope way to say it. It's not dope yet. I'm gonna figure it out. But it's like, we think we took these negative terms and performed some kind of alchemy to it and made it gold, but we haven't. Like, we didn't take the poison and make it healthy. Like, it's still poison. You dig? But we convinced ourselves that, you know, the shit is all good, you know? But anyway, but that's my idea on that. And the Tupac thing that T-Pain said, I don't know why we always hold up on this, like, lyrical kind of thing. Like, all rappers aren't some lyrical metaphor as rappers. Like, a lot of rappers aren't. And you got to look at Pac in his essence. He's like more poetic. He stays in a pocket. He has like a certain flow that's fucking undeniable, man. And that kind of West Coast like assertion of your like dominance and city and where you from kind of thing, like that gangsterism kind of shit. Like, he'd be one of them cats that ferociously rides the beat, whatever the current day thing is. You know what I'm saying? So this whole Tupac would get ate alive and he wouldn't survive now. That's some bullshit. That's some goofy shit. You know, because half of the rappers out don't spit metaphors and don't spit bars, but they got wide success and everybody like them, you know?
And on top of that, the way Pac's personality was, and if he was on social media, he'd be the fucking hottest thing out.
He be killing shit. You
know what I'm saying?
Ooh, I don't want to see Pac with social media when he's 24 or 23.
Yeah.
It might be a bad look.
I think a lot of times we talk about how great people were back in the day and compared to now and not understanding. Like a lot of great athletes and I guess celebrities and entertainers are dealing with social media also. And we act like these niggas weren't young with a whole bunch of money back in the day also. Like, they probably were doing some goofy shit also. Like, I mean, I hate to say it. Imagine if Magic would have had an IG. That nigga probably would have had an OnlyFans. Like, what are we talking about? Like,
who?
Magic would have definitely had an OnlyFans, though. Nah, he wouldn't have had an OnlyFans because he wouldn't have wanted Cookie to see what he was doing behind their back.
That's true. But she'd have been on Love and Hip Hop. Cookie on board. Yeah, Cookie would have been on Love and Hip Hop then.
Yeah, she'd have been on the Love and Hip Hop joints. Or Basketball Wives. And some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She'd have been on that. Yeah,
No, we'll Chase. We'll talk about
Speedo ho, Supreme beat. Speedo. Speedo ho, Supreme beat. Speedo.
R.I.P. Supreme, aka the East Beast vet. Real never die. I miss my dog. It hurt more than a broken neck. That happened but too. Damn, I love the game and I ain't through with this shit yet. Not at all. So I'ma keep on balling like I'm bringing in it.
Okay. Well, leave us with something then.
I got a quick one for him. He can answer. Is love an action or a feeling? Like, can you love somebody without the action, or which comes first, the feeling or the action?
You asked about 3 goddamn questions.
What comes first? What comes first, the feeling or the action?
I think as always when it comes to love and or relationships, it isn't a particular way that it has to go. Like sometimes the action is what made you fall in love with a person. Like, you know what I mean? Or you've been with a person so long that you had that feeling that you feel like you love them. If that makes sense. Like, I don't think it's a particular way it has to go. I asked either one of y'all though.
Love is an emotion.
I mean, it's a feeling.
You have the emotion without the action?
Love is just an emotion. It come and go and fly in, fly out. Love is an emotion.
Okay, describe it to me. Describe something you do. Describe the emotion of it.
That
because feel is an action.
Who?
Feel. If you feel something, it's an action.
That's why I said it's both.
Love itself is an emotion. You don't feel it. I guess you feel it inside or whatever.
Yeah, so you feeling something that's an action.
And that's why I think
your body reacts. It's a body reaction. You know what I'm saying? But it's because your body every emotion produces some type of endorphin or something in your brain, right? So that's what it does. It's like it's a release of some type of endorphin in your brain that has you goofy over a woman or a man or whatever the fuck. Have you goofy over a person?
But don't you have to? You're doing something.
Love is a chemical imbalance.
No, but listen, you're still doing something though. It's still an action.
It's a chemical imbalance that happens inside of your body. That's what it is. Huh? But it's a chemical imbalance that happens inside of your body.
That's action though, right?
I mean, I think that's why I said it's both. I think why I started my whole thing with like it's both. Like, why can't it be both? Why can't it be an action and a feeling? What do you think, Maul?
I think that's a hard ass conversation. I think as far as the emotions, I think the emotion side, I think those initial feelings are things that we call love, but it's like lust, infatuation, obsession, attraction, all of that stuff. And we say, oh, we fell in love with somebody, but you got infatuated with them, or you got enthralled with them, or something like that. I look at love as an action but I'm kind of looking at love in like a deeper sense, because love is an action where it's like, even when you don't like somebody at a certain time or you're not feeling somebody, you still do for them. Like, that's a different level. Like, I would look at that as love versus the kind of fantasy way that we say, oh, do you love somebody? I feel love and X, Y, Z. So I look at it as an action. I think we got a lot of stuff we call love. And when you sustain those emotions for a prolonged period and you're acting in a way that's providing, nurturing, caring, all of that, then that develops into a love, an actual love.
That was just a random thought or whatever. But Maul, this is still talking about it. Usually we let you it's basically just words from the other Maul, but we just put it all together. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So what's on your head top today? I don't know if they say it like that anywhere, but
they just did. You might start a trend.
You came up with some new shit. Off the head top with Maul.
Head top.
That sounds like somebody uncle trying to sound cool.
Oh yeah.
That's what I am, nigga. I'm somebody Uncle Charles sound crew. What you talking about?
Yeah.
That's a
Nah, because women gonna always be overprotected. Even if it's a man in the house, a woman gonna be overprotected. It's just the mama bear syndrome. You know what I'm saying? It's just mama bear. She's gonna always try to protect her young. It's about parents overstepping their bounds. Don't put your kid in the sport and think you might as well be the coach if you gonna fucking coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, my dad.
You gotta let your kid be coached.
I know my pop. He was better than my first 4 coaches. But he told me earlier, like, I'm gonna talk to you when we get to the car.
Yeah.
I never say anything to you while you in the game.
Don't undermine the coach.
Any of that shit.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, so I take that into mind when I be playing this, when we're playing soccer, because I be yelling a lot of shit. And I'm like, I didn't get a coach a couple times, like, yo, you have a problem with me yelling stuff on the sideline because I don't want whatever you're trying to say. You know, you good because they're actually listening to what you're saying, so you're good. You know what I mean? But I always thought about pops with that. Yeah.
I mean, it's the number one thing to be into the game, right? Mm-hmm. But then when you be like, Coach, why my son ain't playing? Or Coach, you should put my son in quarterback. Or Coach, my son needs to get the ball more. Shit like that, you got to stay the fuck out of that.
Well, why'd you ask that question?
I just a question.
Okay.
Hey, I got one last question for you. Other Maul, you about to get off, right?
oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, he's a smart one.
I got a question before you get. I got a question for everybody before you get off. Let's see who gonna actually answer the question and who gonna be 100 about it.
All right, I'm out.
If you could start right now today,
Oh shit.
everything you know about your partner, would you still pick them?
Well, yeah, man. I just wanted to rap to you. You know, we'll get back to you throughout the week. Drop something else on them.
That's what's up.
Good.
Yeah, man. We got a bunch we can talk about.
I hear you. You got something you want to leave us with?
I don't know. I'm in a brain fog right now, man. I got something.
Air, bro. It's like
this is. I got something. All right, because this is something I gotta tell myself. Like, all right, so this philosopher has this quote that goes, "Don't talk about your philosophy, embody it."
Mm.